Welcome back. Welcome into the Lion's Share podcast. Woo! That's all I have to say about that right there. Ja-maal, the way to victory. Lions, white hot, improved to 4-6 with a giant W over the New York Football Giants. 3 straight wins. Your 4-5, Andrew's 4-5, that is, still alive. Called them crazy at the point in time. Still alive with 2 games remaining of the 5. More wins than the Detroit Pistons. Who would have thunk it?
Well, we're sitting here a few days before Turkey Day, about ready to feast in, and who would have thought the Lions would be sitting at more wins than the Pistons at this point in time? I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm happy about the Pistons being bad, but I can tell you I love the Lions being okay.
What a flip it has been on these emotional airwaves. We have gone through the highs and the lows, probably too high at this point in time. I need to keep checking on myself, keep ourselves honest. You can't ever go too high and you can't ever go too low. You gotta keep it consistent. You can have little ripples along the way, but man, did this one feel a lot better than some victories that we've had. This one felt, dare I say, real.
Hey, I'm going to say it. This one felt fun. This was fun football to watch. Felt like, that first half and first quarter especially, we were playing to our opponent's skill and what they were giving us. Finally, we went out and just played football like it was any other opponent.
So good to see. Finally finishing plays, finally holding off the penalties, finally getting some third downs to go our way on offense and getting off the field on 3rd and 4th down on defense, cleaning up. It's the little things, man. They're doing that. And it seems like it's actually trusting the process here. The team is bought in, it feels like, from the locker room scene that we're seeing right now. Feels like the trajectory is up, and that it's really good to see. Obviously got a long ways to go still, but a big win over a 7-2 Giants team that was coming in 7-2. It's going to be an action-packed episode. So much to talk about. I realized I write so many notes when the Lions are winning. When they're down, I stop taking notes. I realize there's a direct correlation between the notes and wins. So strap in. You see what I'm doing right here? It's the nod. It's the nod to the secondary for you. For those of you who are watching these now, we started a YouTube channel. So you Spotify and Apple podcasters out there, if you want to see the visual to this, go check out the Lion's Share podcast on YouTube. Links will be in the description, as long as I don't mess up this recording anyway. So yeah, doing the seatbelt celebration, nod to the secondary on the defense. That's the cornerback celebrations, it seems. So very cool. Very cool. Let's get into this episode. We're going to talk about the Lions, of course. Then we're going to talk about the rest of the NFL, including a bad week for me, but a really great week for Andrew, who's shining in the record department.
Let's go.
And of course, we'll end with college football talk. So let's jump right into the Lions. As we said, Lions 31-18 over the Giants. A nice, comfortable win. Got a little hairy at the end, but a comfortable win nonetheless. Very balanced day from the Lions offensively. 160 yards rushing, 163 before the 3 kneel down. So take that with a little grain of salt. 165 yards passing. So almost an exact balanced day attack on the offensive side of things. Almost negligible, the difference between the two. Basically 50-50. And no turnovers. That's the big one. Clean day from the offense. Not a spectacular numbers off the charts day, but a clean day nonetheless. And 3 touchdowns for Jamaal Williams. He got the hat trick, and those were some tough yards that he got today. He
what else comes in bunches?
Turnovers on the other side. I'm getting to it. To it. Don't think I did. Just going down my notes here.
Okay.
Justin Jackson, a nice day today as well. There's like 70 and 60 yards between Jamaal and him. Respectively, and then Swift with a couple carries got his late touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown led the wide receivers with 76. big play TK, as you would call him. Tom Kennedy added a catch, and Khalif Raymond adding a few as well, some big ones down the stretch. And now we'll get to the defensive side of things. 3 turnovers forced by the defense. Saquon Barkley, who league leading rusher, gone missing, MIA. If anybody knows on his locations, whereabouts, please call your local authorities, because he was non-existent today. Deshaun Elliott, 8 tackles. Will Harris at 8 tackles. Barnes, 7. Jacobs, 6. Harris with a forced fumble. Kirby with the interception. Aiden with the interception and a fumble recovery. And I've got to give the nod to none other than my spectacular co-host on the other line. Called it. He called it. And we'll put the clip in right here. Tommy?
I think the defense should have at least 2 picks in this game and possibly a fumble recovery.
For you avid listeners out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about from the previous episode 25, Walkthrough Wednesdays. Andrew called it on his prediction for the game. He said, I'm calling two interceptions and perhaps a forced fumble. And 1,
Got
2,
it
3,
all,
count 'em up.
baby.
What a call by you.
That's like going to Chuck E. Cheese, getting enough tickets for anything you want on the wall, baby. It's whatever you want. It's all yours for the pickings. It feels good right now. It feels even better to have a win. One guy you didn't name on the defense, you got to give some love to. Aleem McNeil up front, getting in, Danny Dimes' face all day long. He snuck free a few times, but as a 4-man front from the defensive Lions, that's about as good a pressure you're going to see on a quarterback than I've seen in just about my lifetime.
Good on you to shout out McNeil. I meant to have him on the list, and I said this list was ever growing. My notes were just expanding, and so that was what I missed. So good on you. That front all day long played a big role in what happened to be a team-led victory. Said it last week. Bears game was a fairly consistently team overall win. This one even more so today. Ran the ball as they needed to, got the passing yards when they needed them. No passing touchdowns, but ground game finished all the touchdowns off, and the defense kept that containment over the fierce run game that Saquon Barkley brings to the table, as well as Danny Dimes. Danny actually had more yards rushing than Saquon.
Did he lead the entire Giants? I'm assuming it was either him or what was the other running back?
Breida.
Matt Breida. That's correct.
Yeah, Lions fans remember him. He's the ex-Viking, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he had 13 yards. Not a big day from him. A few carries, but Daniel Jones, 50 yards even, and I think 2 or 3 of those were fairly big chunks.
They were
that he ran.
He just kept sneaking free. I kept thinking Alex Anzalone was going to be the spy on him, since he's such a sideline to sideline speed guy, and all of a sudden the middle of the field was empty a few times, and Danny Dimes is running with nobody else in camera view.
No, it was bad. That was one thing on the negative side of things for sure. They just didn't have an answer for that. Luckily, the Giants didn't go to that too often, and the Lions were able to contain them when they did sometimes. But there were a couple crucial ones like that 4th and 1 where he just gets outside, and it's too easy for him at that point.
He's a tall guy. He's got long legs.
Yeah.
He just strides it out, really. He's not that fast. He just strides out.
Yeah, and it was a tough day to pass and kick, to do. Some extreme wind gusts were present, and no more evident than when they missed 2 extra points that were crucial today. Aside from that, before we break down the full game in depth, I said it, and we both said it on the episode prior to this. They got to limit penalties, win the turnover battle, and win the time of possession. They did all 3. They won the penalty battle. A few more penalties than they had last week. Two last week was too much of a gift. They had a couple more this week, but overall better than the Giants in the penalty department. They certainly won the turnover battle 3-0, and won the time of possession by 3 minutes with 31 minutes and some change to the Giants, they're 28 minutes. So they checked all those boxes. They were able to run the ball, and they protected Goff. No sacks today. So not only did the offense have a clean day without any turnovers, they didn't give up a single sack all day long. Got to give a shout out to Skipper for filling in for Evan Brown, who went down early. We've said it from the preseason and on that the offensive line is the strong suit of this team, and just proving it day in, day out, game in, game out. Once again, a great game from the offensive line.
Sewell not happy on the defense with a few calls out there.
No, he gave the Pequeño.
There was two that he was very upset with. I think one was the block in the back and the one holding. The block in the back was the big one that hurt us, took us to a 1st and 20. They ended up getting back down there and scoring, but that was the one that could have changed the flow of this game.
Yeah, it was just a light touch in the back too, but he just didn't need to have it. The ball's already past him.
Exactly.
They don't need it in that situation.
And I think this is the third game in a row where they've won the penalty battle, alluding to what Dan preaches week in and week out from day one, is details and discipline. And you see what happens when they're detail-oriented and disciplined to their plan. You win the turnover battle, you win the game. That's 3 in a row.
Football is extremely complex, but when you break it down, it's really just those little things. You've got to get off the field on 3rd down on defense, convert your 3rd downs on offense, play mistake-free football by not turning the ball over, and don't have penalties that kill you. And when they do that, the Lions, we see what they can be when they do all those things. When they put it all together, this is a really good, a really solid team. So when they do things like this, it's good to see. I got to give a shout out to that special teams as well.
No kidding.
Often overlooked, the special teams, the third phase of football, right? But Jack Fox, highest paid punter in the league, did a great job punting today, and the coverage team as well. A really good job. Really good props to the coverage team all game long, and the kicker,
Badgley. Yeah, I mean, on a day
in a windy environment.
Exactly. When the Giants couldn't even put up an extra point, he came in there. He made a clutch field goal. It was only a 24-yarder, but still long enough to be a little scary. I believe it was the right hash. Came, put away all the extra points needed to be done. A clean game.
Yeah, and you can see when he kicked it too. He was playing the wind fairly well. I mean, you got to almost play it off the gusts, and the gusts are almost unpredictable. So really nice job by him today. Just all around special teams was really good as well. Next man up mentality too. Like I said, Skipper came in for Evan Brown. Kaminsky was in. Harris and Amani even came into the game late. Of course, he gets a penalty called on him. Just that's par for the course with Onowarie. But this one was a weak one. I didn't think this one was a bang bang play. Probably could have gone either way. Probably could have been a no call. But just guys stepping it up. As Okudah went down, Jacobs went down at one point. Even Kirby Joseph went down at one point.
Speaking of Okudah, I know Dan in his post game press conference said that there's no way for him to get through the concussion protocol quick enough for Thursday. Good
Correct.
News is he's tweeting out that he's all good. He looked good in post-game videos. We're going to have him back following the Thursday game, but just kind of a bummer on the short week that he doesn't have time to clear.
Yeah, against the team on the Bills with Stephon Diggs and company who are nothing short of spectacular. I saw that as well. That one hurts. It's just the Tua effect, I think. I mean, obviously we're all about player safety and we don't want to see him do something detrimental, but I think
especially after Savion this year.
Yeah, that as well. I think had Tua's new protocol not been in place here, I feel like they would have let Okudah continue to play. You saw the refs pull him out, and it seems like the emphasis is now, if you're getting pulled out for something where the refs or somebody calls down from the booth, you're not coming back in the game anymore.
No, unless you can prove that you wobbled because of a leg injury.
Yeah.
You're not coming
There's no
back.
getting around it now.
Nope.
I mean, player safety is probably for the best, but it just sucks because that's our guy on defense, right? We're going to need him down the stretch. We're going to need him against the Bills, and we'll get to that. But Kirby Joseph and Aiden Hutchinson, 2 rookies out there, played really well today. Ball seekers, and we've said it before. We'll say it again. 2 Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes guys. 2 draft picks from these guys.
I mean, Aiden Hutchinson was a no-brainer. I mean,
Right.
You couldn't screw up the number 2. But like we've said, and you alluded to it, where Brad Holmes really shines in the draft is these 3rd to 5th to 6th rounders, and he absolutely thrives at finding talent there. And Kirby Joseph is no exception.
Yeah, and Malcolm Rodriguez as well. We always give him credit where credit is due. He was back this week. Good to see him fight through the injury and be in the lineup. Not a big name day for him, but out there nonetheless, getting it done. Yeah, you got to give praise to these guys on some of these draft picks. And
as soon as Pascal gets a little healthier, we'll get to see him shine some more as well.
Yeah, got to get him healthy. He was out again this week. 4 of 5 still alive, and we saw the "Let's Go Lions" chants in New York, aka New Jersey. That was pretty cool to see. I know the Lions fans are, and they got the Hard Knocks bump, but I haven't seen that in some time where we get some "Let's Go Lions" chants on the road.
Not only that, but a few weeks back, the longtime Lion game was at the Tampa Bay game. He said they were getting love from the Tampa Bay fans. I mean, the Hard Knock bump really seems to be a thing that everybody loves to root for an underdog, and these guys, they're stealing America's heart right now.
Oh yeah, and they continue to win games. That's only going to get more and more fierce on that side of things. Let's talk about the game, huh? Let's go real quick through what we've got in the first half, and then we'll go into the time capsules. Right off the bat, 3 and out for the defense. So just starting things right off the bat.
It's my very first note.
Giants had the ball right off the bat and 3 and out, doing exactly what they need to do. On the offensive side of the ball, kind of a meh drive, but it gets extended on a roughing the passer penalty. So you've got to capitalize on those penalties where you get a free extension on the drive.
Yes, sir.
On the 3rd and 1, yeah, they did. In the 3rd and 1, if you remember this, they went QB sneak instead of run, which we haven't seen Goff go QB sneak hardly ever. He's always in the gun for most of the game anyway. But to see him go under center, yeah, good to see. I love that we've seen him struggle on some of these short yard runs, trying to hand it to Swift or Jamaal or Jackson. So I was really pleased to see them just go QB, just keep it simple, go QB sneak, put Goff under center, even though that's not where he's comfortable. Put him under center and just use that offensive line. Use the line that is so good.
100%. Use the KISS method. You don't have to get fancy to get a yard or less.
Just
play
simple,
football and get the first down.
Yep, that's what it came down to. Ultimately, they settled for a field goal on that drive, but points off the extension from the roughing the passer, so important. Once again, taking points early. This is like 3 or 4 weeks in a row that they've taken the field goal early instead of going for it on 4th down. So Dan, kudos to Dan for just taking points there. You got a free extension on the roughing the passer. Just get the points there. Don't try to do too much, especially on the road. Other side of the ball, defense bends and breaks. Can't get off on 3rd and 4th down. But they missed the extra point, which would be a huge one. Ball, I don't know if
got a finger on that one as well.
On the block, right? Mm-hmm. On the extra point.
Yeah,
that ball looked like it was in a spin cycle.
Oh yeah, that thing took a wicked just right turn right away.
So at that point, it's 6-3 Giants, keeps the Lions within a field goal. Khalif Raymond had a nice scamper hustle play, fell down, gets back up to extend the drive. You and I both screaming
get up.
I was clapping. Let's go. It was huge. It actually probably benefited him. Then he falls to the ground because then Giants defenders were kind of on deer in the headlights mode because they don't know what to do. They're thinking maybe the play will get over. But, so end of the first quarter, Washington. I've got it down as a wash. Slight edge to the Giants, 6-3. The Giants lead after one. Jared Goff had a nice run after you and I were discussing how it was not a great run day for the Lions right off the bat in the first quarter. Goff gets a really nice run. Unfortunately, penalty, and it gets called back. And then they get a penalty on the next play. They get the personal foul on Jackson. Jonah Jackson.
Yeah. Yep.
So they get back-to-back penalties. They get pushed way back. Just a bad drive overall. And then on defense, we had the friendly fire head injury for Okudah. Yet another friendly fire. Just two guys crossing, two defenders just right into each other. And
I'm not shocked that it was Okudah. I'm shocked that he was the one who was hurt coming out of this time. Not shocked it was him, though.
No. We've said it in the past episodes. He's always getting himself in these positions. So Okudah goes out and does not return from the game at this point. So Lions defense put on their backs against the wall, having next man up mentality, and kudos to them because they didn't miss a beat. Well, maybe they did miss a beat. Gave up some pretty easy third and longs and second and longs, but I digress. After that, the defense holds. Ben doesn't break and gets off the field. So on offense, we had Swift going laterally on that short yard 3rd and 1. Just go upfield, man. It seems like he's got a mental thing going on where he's being too patient, trying to make things happen, trying to do too much. Just get the simple yards sometimes.
1 yard, man. Like we said, keep it simple. Just get the first down. Just run upfield.
Yes, sir. Good on the special teams. Got a positive note there. And then we get news that Okudah's out for the second half. Double negative. But right as they're announcing Okudah's out for the second half, none other than our rookie of the year, Mr. Aiden Hutchinson, gets the sneaky drop into coverage. Danny Dimes throws it right to him. Turnover to the Lions, 1 of 3 on the day. Just we've sung his praises already, so we don't have to go deep into it, but just a great play from our young defensive end.
A 6'7" body just gets right in a passing lane, and he's kind of sunk down like that. And you're not expecting those hands to get up there that quick, and he just snatched that thing right out of the air. Absolutely announced his ticket for Defensive Rookie of the Year with that play.
Yes, sir. This is his Rookie of the Year moment, similar to a Heisman moment, right? And as the Lions needed to, points off turnover. You got to score off turnovers. That's another emphasis that we always preach. Jamaal with the red zone touchdown, 1 of 3 on the day.
Was this his 10th of the year?
This was number 10, yeah.
This was number 10 on the year, okay.
Yeah, good on you for keeping track of those all game long. Let me add them to the notes. He even took the ball to the sidelines on his first one. I don't know if it was because it was his 10th or if it was a career number that was important, but they didn't say that I saw. But I noticed he took the ball to the sidelines. It was kind of cool.
Good notes.
So points off turnover, huge. And we've got the better kicker because he just makes it look easy with the wind, makes the extra point. Defense bends but doesn't break again. No penalty. Nice coverage by Jacobs. This is when the seatbelt move came in. Subsequently leads to a shank punt by the Giants. Lions get the ball with decent enough field position. Amon-Ra St. Brown gets real involved on this drive, and especially in the crossing routes. Seems like both teams were in love with the crossing routes all game long.
What's crazy is at this point in the game, so right when the Lions got the turnover and then scored, and they're kicking off to the Giants, I think I texted you and said, all you have to do now is stop the Giants from scoring before half and then just go into halftime with your lead. This game went into absolute overdrive at that moment. I mean, you're gonna get into the unfolding of it, but it was It became so much more than the two possessions that I thought it was going to be. And this defense was here for all of it. So keep going.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, the first quarter went pretty quick and was kind of uneventful. It was 6-3. And then the second quarter said, we're going to throw you some curveballs, because that's when the turnovers started. That's when it started to get a little weird. And killer penalty by Sewell. This was the one we referenced earlier with the block in the back. Didn't have to do it. But 1st and 20. And then Penei Sewell, again, nearly gets a false start. Lucked out on that one. Lions lucky to be on that side of the refs for once. And Brock Rice, with a nice pitch and catch, gets it down inside the 3-yard line. It was a 1 or 2 yard line. And then Jamaal Williams, animal, once again, he wants Jamaal of it, and he gets number 11.
Number 11 on the year. The guy's an absolute goal line machine. I believe after today, he leads the NFL in touchdowns, in rushing touchdowns.
That's right. Yeah, 11 was the tire. 11. This one we just spoke of, that was the tie for 11. So it's 17-6 at this point. This is when you text me and said the Lions just have to get off the field on defense here. Just don't give it any points. Giants without any timeouts, and they nearly get into field goal range, but instead of running up and spiking the ball, they try to run a play, and it takes crucial time off the clock, and they've got 6 seconds at that point. Nearly an interception on the next play with 6 seconds left. A tipped ball that was going to Saquon nearly falls in the hands of the Lions defender. Whew, got excited there. I was getting greedy at this point. I wanted one more score from the Lions before half. I was feeling it at that point.
As a conditioned Lions fan, I just wanted everybody off the field and the halftime performances to officially kick off.
Yeah. Just get to half. We'll be happy with 17-6. I was greedy, and I was like, one more score before half so I could feel a little bit better. But all good in that department. The Lions get off the field. Nothing doing for the Giants as they try to go Hail Mary mode, but it did not work. So there we are at the half. And
did not work. I mean, the Lions did something that no other Lions team would do, and they absolutely dropped everybody into coverage, including the one nose tackle that they had.
Well, that was the one with 6 seconds, and then the one with 1 second, they sent the house, and Kaminsky gets a sack.
I mean, it was you never see that from the Lions. You always see the 3 guys rushing. They get absolutely no pressure. They're wasted there, and there's some sort of play downfield, and the other team gets lucky. You never see this from a Lions team.
No. Aaron Glenn, kudos to him. He's got his head in the right direction here. He's, as we've said over the past couple of weeks, getting the defense, getting them right, and a good formation there. And then to follow it up with the bringing pressure the next play, and that was really good to see. Let's roll things into an upbeat halftime capsule from you and I.
Lions fans, stand up. Here we are at half. This is kind of fun, guys. They started off this game a little rocky, had me a little weary. We were playing tic-tac-toe with these guys, match for match. And, I mean, this second quarter, we kind of turned on the burners. Like I said, started slow. Way to hold them, though, to no points after the big turnover leading into points. Once that happened, no more points were scored. That was huge. What we got to do, we're getting the ball, I believe, coming out of half. Go down there, put points on the board, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, doesn't matter. The whole point, get points on the board and keep this momentum rolling. Defensively, we're going to need another pick 6. Really scares me now that Okuda's gone, what they're going to do to us. But in the second quarter, they held strong without him. But Okuda, we're going to need you back. So defensively, another turnover, maybe 2 more sacks, and that could win us it. But, give up a touchdown or so. We got this, boys. Let's just go close out this second half.
Woo! Coming at you hot. White hot. Lions, all white uniforms, 17-6 at the half. I got to calm down myself a little bit here. I'm a little too excited. Far be it for me to be excited at one of these, but oh man, what a half of football. Just really happy with what I'm seeing out there. But obviously, 2 more quarters to go, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, huh? We've got 4 quarters to play, all 60 minutes. So let's see what they do in the second half. First half, though, wow. First off, that shadow at MetLife, that can go to hell. That shadow was throwing me off the whole first half. 2 touchdowns for Jamaal, just an animal out there. Red zone animal. Couple penalties from the Lions, but overall fairly clean. I think the big thing is Okudah is out with a head injury, and we saw Jacobs just before the half go down, and he walked off. So hoping that he's back in the game because already a slim pickings at cornerback. So for the second half, got to backfill that void that's left from Okudah because he was the guy. El Jefe was the guy. Doing a nice job so far of covering it up for him, but still just coming off the high here. Kaminsky literally just got the sack. So got to come back down to earth here. Lions start the ball in the second half. Start with the ball. So let's see a touchdown on this drive. Let's see points on this drive. The Lions have come out flat the last couple weeks. No Jared Goff interception in the third quarter here, first drive. None of that. We don't want any of that. And the Giants did not play a very good first half. Shoddy first half. Not clean. You know they're going to have adjustments. You know they're going to get the best out of these guys. Daboll's a good coach. He's going to turn things around for the Giants. Let's go, Lions. Let's play like we did in the first half. Let's close this thing out and have some home cooking for Thanksgiving. Let's go. So, yeah, we were feeling pretty good out of the halftime capsules there. You and I both happy, content. But we both knew that 2 more quarters were in store, and this game was far from over with a Giants team that could go off at any point. Only up 11 at the half, certainly not an insurmountable lead. And our emphasis, both of us, we wanted a score out of the half. Lions started the ball. Why do I keep saying that? Started the half with the ball. So needed points on that drive. Crucial. And they did just that. We got what we wanted. We didn't get a Jared Goff interception. We didn't get a 3-and-out. We got a touchdown. And
was this the big play TK drive?
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Well, okay. Right after big play TK was the play, but the play before that we had the Kabin second drop of the day.
He's got to open them eyes that we saw in Hard Knocks. They previewed it there, but apparently he got too excited in his first game back and couldn't keep them open.
Second game back, but yes, you're right. This was more full action for him. And
okay, I didn't see him much last week then.
He didn't play much. Not a big role last week, but he was there. He did have some defenders in his face with nearly tipping the ball. So grain of salt there, but if he continues the way he's been trying to catch the ball. But yes, next play, Tom Kennedy, nice crossing route catch, big play TK as you crowned him.
I mean, he's just there when you need him. Josh Reynolds, the safety blanket, had been gone. And you don't see him with many stats. It's kind of a shame. Kind of seems like one of those guys who might not be on the team for a long time. He's more of like a trivia answer at a bar kind of question guy. But has been there in big third down situations when we needed him.
Yes, sir. Safety blanket. Third down between him and St. Brown. Third down St. Brown. They're good guys to go to, along with Khalif Raymond, Chark and others, just real quiet. But let's continue on. Huge drive, big catches from TK, as we said, and St. Brown, and who else but Jamaal Williams with his third of the day to end the drive, 12th on the year. That gave him the lead league. And no easy runs either, just another pound it run. Lions up 24-6 at this point, feeling pretty good. Great score out of the half. It's still not insurmountable. You got to keep yourself in check here, but feeling really good about the way things are going. Giants' biggest deficit of the year at that point, and they were getting booed.
That not only were they getting booed, but the Lions were doing something that the Lions won't do often, right? Ben Johnson in control of the play call sheet. We said it early. The run game was not there for them. Just stuffed early, often. Jared Goff got us going. The play got called back. Guess what Ben Johnson didn't do? He didn't turn into a pass-only offense. Continued to just pressure the front four for the Giants and just keep stuffing the ball with Jamaal. You didn't see a lot of Swift today. I don't know if it's, because they're trying to conserve him. It looked like a lot of harder running today. So you had Jackson and Jamaal kind of leading the trudge there.
Yeah, and you could easily go into conservative mode there and say, let's not get too crazy with it, and let's just settle for a field goal there. But they didn't do that either. They didn't just run the ball 3 times in a row after it went 1st and 20. That's the other drive. I'm getting them confused. You're getting me confused here. Your fault.
Apologies, sir.
Not actually. But jumping around here. But as I said, biggest deficit of the year so far for the Giants. And Kirby Joseph, he had a kind of a regression week last week after a couple games in a row getting turnovers. Right back to it to this week, gets his interception, another turnover for the Lions. This is 2 of 3 on the day, and another turnover in the stat column for Kirby. Careful with the celebration though. I don't know if you saw him do the backflip thing,
the gymnast move. He does that on his run out as well.
Does he?
Yeah, every time. I don't know if it's just home games or away games, but his entry run out is that same move, and it is frightening. Almost as frightening as the Aiden Hutchinson, like Billie Jean, Michael Jackson kick. And I'm glad he stopped that. I mean, just give me a safer celebration, please.
Yeah, we've seen it in the past where celebrations go wrong, so let's tone it down a little bit, huh?
It looks like a lot of pressure on the Achilles.
Yeah, I mean, but these guys are peacocks. You got to let them fly.
I heard that, Cat.
So Lions get the ball back off the interception. No points off turnover here. That's a negative. Couple bad throws from Goff. Could have put it away on that drive. Felt like you get a touchdown there and you can coast 31-6, but
points off of turnovers. It's the momentum we talk about.
Yeah.
You can't waste opportunities like that.
Yeah, and they did. So leaving the Giants still with some life, and next drive, Kirby Joseph gets the friendly fire injury of the day. Second friendly fire injury. Yet another one here. Just Lions hurting themselves. But the defense bends and doesn't break. They get off the field. No points. Offense on the other side, garbage. Just not good at this point.
Nothing going.
A low point in the day for the Lions. Just trying not to get too aggressive and being a little too conservative, probably. And right before the end of the third quarter, we had the defense not getting the 4th and 1 stop when Danny Dimes runs it to the outside and gets the edge. That was critical, but that leaves us at the end of 3. Lions win the third quarter. They're up 24-6, scoreless for the Giants in the third. Right after the start of the fourth, the Giants get theirs. Too easy. Defense was getting a little lax at this point in the game, but they missed the extra point again. So it's 24-12 for the Lions. Surprised they didn't go for 2 there.
I as well, and these are those like small momentum shifts that we once again always talk about. Seems like the Giants finally got something going for them, and then you miss your extra point, it dings off the upright. It's just like, what are we doing here? You lose that fire that you just had after the touchdown. Now your point situation is kind of in disarray, that is, and you really can't start digging yourself out of this hole, but very peculiar not to go for 2 to even things up from the other missed field goal.
Yeah, and make it a 10-point game. If they make the extra point, it's 11, so you've got a touchdown, extra point, or touchdown, 2-point, and a field goal that'll tie it with you. But just the way the wind was and the circumstance, I was surprised to see them kick it there. But hey, good for us, right? Offensively, start to move the ball a little bit more. Good to see. Crossing routes are back. Khalif Raymond, third down St. Brown, huge pickups, but no points. Drive stalls out. Questionable play calling for me here. I thought Ben Johnson called good plays all game long, but a low point here for him. The 3rd and 10 deep pass, kind of taking a shot towards the end zone. Didn't love that, and especially and then going out and trying to run the team out there on 4th and 10, trying to get him to jump off sides or do something. Then taking the delay of game, then you punt it, but you punt it in the end zone, so you only net like 20 yards. It was just a bad sequence there for me.
I think it was the worst part of the special teams on the day, but I understood what they were doing. They weren't going to go for it on 4th down. The punt was a little too close for our boy to get it in there. He must have wanted the yardage. Thank you for that. I did not forget his name. But he must have said, that's a little too tight for me. I'd prefer to go back. So, easy with those eyes, Kabinda. So, they take the delay a game. They try to get the Giants to jump off sides. If they do, then hooray. If not, then whatever, you back up. And Fox just let it sail on him. But honestly, if we're going back through it in this 3rd and 4th quarter when the Lions offense was stalling like they were, there was the one where they got pinned deep in their own yardage, own side of the field. He sent them all the way back to on the other side. Absolute field flip.
Flips the field, exactly. And I think the one criticism I have, I've got a couple, but one of them would be the Lions just still don't really know how to play with the lead, especially a lead of more than one score. So there's still some growing pains in that department where the play calling's not 100%. The offense just doesn't really know. They're a little hesitant. They're not as sharp because they're at their best when they're going quick and moving the ball down the field. So when they have to slow it down and have to play with the lead and have to run the ball when the defense knows they're going to run it, still some areas to grow for sure.
Absolutely. What you said, learn to run plays effectively even when the other team knows what type of play you're going to run. Whether they know you're in a pass situation or running situation, you're going to run into times where the other team is prepared for what you're doing just based on the situation. Yeah. You need to learn to overcome that and have a play call ready to go for the yardage you need.
Exactly. So defensively, on the other side of the ball, huge forced fumble by Will Harris. When I saw him bearing down on this guy for the Giants, I was thinking in my head, you just got to crush him. It just looked like a play where wide receiver catches it and he's going to go turn upfield, and it looked like a big hit willing to have or ready about to happen. And I was pleasantly surprised to see the ball come out. And when I saw Aiden Hutchinson bearing down, diving for it, I just knew the Lions were going to get that ball. Got so much trust in him, one-on-one for fighting over a ball. I know that Aiden's going to get it. So shout out to Will Harris and Aiden. Just a great duo play there. Fumble, clear fumble. Was a little bit worried that it might be reviewed, but they confirm it. Third step was down, and just a huge play. Turnover number 3 on the day, and a big one as the Giants were kind of sneaking like they could try to come back, and Lions end all hopes of that right there. DeAndre Swift on the other side of the ball. Lions have a short field. DeAndre Swift gets his finally. They felt like they were trying to spread the love there, putting him into the game, not letting Jamaal get 4 on the day. They let Swift get his. And the Giants pretty much let him walk in. It felt like they let him score. I guess it was a strategy play. Lions 31-12 at this point. Badgley gets another nice kick, and great with the wind all day, as we said. And then the Giants get a score late. Lions didn't step on the throat and twist. They just stepped. They didn't twist. They gave up a late score. Giants go onside kick, but the Lions quickly recover. St. Brown recovers. And Khalif Raymond closes things out with a run, nice run. And what does he do as soon as he gets those yards? He slides down. He doesn't keep running. He doesn't risk running a fumble or running out of bounds or scoring too early and giving the ball back to the Giants. He just goes down. It's a smart play there from him. And Lions are able to kneel it out at that point. Victory formation. So good to see. Lions win it. They're now 4-6, as we said. Let's go Lions chants. We're breaking out at this point. Tried to get Mitch to join us on today's episode, but he regretfully declined due to his wedding anniversary. So we'll give him a pass on that one. He left us with this quote. He left us with this quote. In my opinion, maybe the most complete game of the Dan Campbell era against a good team.
Now, Mitch, as much as you're hand in hand with your beautiful wife here on your anniversary, I'm hand in hand with that statement with you.
Yeah, and should mention, I don't think we'll have time to throw it in this episode, but he did hit us up on the airwaves in the voice message box this week and just said that he wanted to clarify his comments about renouncing his fandom. He was in a dark place at that point in hostile territory. He's still loud and proud, and he walked back his comments about it being a bad game in the film room, just caught up in the moment. So thanks, Mitch, for that one. And thanks for hearing your voice once again. It's always good to hear you on these airwaves, and we'll hope to have you make a guest appearance here in the coming weeks. We know the fans love you, and so do we. Aside from that comment from him, he also said this: run defense, Hutch coming up big, and Kirby Joseph. Offensive line looks solid. Williams is a touchdown savage, and Goff is Goff. That's the extent of his comments from today's game, as well as he loves Ben Johnson's Ben's he loves
Ben's Johnson.
He loves Ben Johnson. Just great play caller. Yeah, and a great name, also should say. No.
The Michigan made ones, yeah. Those ones I prefer. Those are the Johnsons of Ben I prefer.
I was talking about Ben. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also the initials BJ.
Oh, YouTubers. That one's for you too.
The exclusive content. Just put this behind a paywall. Aside from that, yeah, just a really good overall game. I thought Dayball and the Giants looked bad. They definitely weren't at their best. They had some drop passes, lots of penalties, as we said. Dayball kind of got out coached by Dan Campbell, I think. And next man up was a good mentality for the Lions. Obviously, you said it earlier. Okudah will be out, it looks like, against the Bills, short week. Saw Hutch dancing in the locker room with his shirt off after the game, so I think that's a good sign for whatever he had with his late injury in the game. And Jacobs also went out. Hutch, as I just mentioned, and Kirby all had some bang injuries. Hopefully we'll have all those guys outside of Okudah this week on a short week, and all of them being friendly fire injuries. It just sucks that it happens that way. So we'll see what transpires on a short week to getting some of these guys back, because we're gonna need them against a Bills team that is getting real comfortable being in Detroit.
Yeah, and if we're being honest here, if we're all in the Lions trust tree, the Bills game would be beautiful to win. Not completely necessary. It's on a short week.
Don't say things like this.
Both teams.
Sounds like you're already counting it as a loss.
I'm not counting it as a loss, but hey, maybe it's time to go out there and get healthy. You know, we're setting up a good drive for the back half of the season, but let's completely get healthy.
Well, and the Den's going to be rocking with a hot team. Lions 3 games in a row. The Thanksgiving is always a good turnout for Lions, but this one's going to be big on Thursday. As the Den's going to be rocking, man. That's all I got to say.
It's gonna be a fun time if anybody has the opportunity to get to this Thanksgiving game. Probably the first Thanksgiving game with the most meaning since what 16, 17?
Yeah, a game that I was at where they won over the Vikings to take sole possession of the NFC first place in the NFC North back in the Jim Caldwell days.
And what year was that? What am I in that? Am I in that?
16.
Time frame?
I think it was 16.
17?
It was 16 or 17. 16, I
Okay,
believe.
yeah,
Because
somewhere right
17
around
it
there.
went to Patricia. 17, 18, 19 was Patricia, right? I think because then Dan Campbell takes over in 2020.
Yep.
2020,
That sounds right.
2021. This is his. I don't know. Whatever. Nonetheless, one or two games out of the playoffs at this point. We've got the 49ers yet to play, but we joked about the Lions making the playoffs, but it's starting to almost feel real. Big test next week against the Bills. So, and should mention with this win, the Lions are jumping in the draft picks. But you know who's falling? The Los Angeles Rams. The Rams lose again, and now that comp pick has suddenly become a top 5 pick. Who would have thought that these picks would have gone this direction? I mean, just a couple weeks ago, the Lions had the number 1 overall pick. And now they've jumped all the way to 13, and the Rams fall from. I think the Rams are around the 13 area just a couple weeks ago, and now they're number 5.
It is something to see, and I mean I know we talked about it. Playoffs are kind of an afterthought for us. We want to see 5-6 wins, and that's still what I'd like to see. Playoffs, I mean, hell, a playoff victory. Can you imagine? I will absolutely take it and take what this team's going to give us. And in the past years, you'd be kind of thinking like, they'll make a push for it, probably won't go far, probably fall just short and not have a great draft pick. What's that do?
Right.
And now we have the Rams helping us out on the back end, and we can still win as many games as you want to win, and you're still in it.
The stars are aligning, and that doesn't happen for Lions fans. So this feels.
Brad Holmes.
I'm almost uncomfortable being in this position. It doesn't feel right. Like it doesn't seem like this should be happening. Like
with a lot of
the
money
Lions,
too.
The Lions are 4-6, like not a great record, but I'm on the right direction, climbing, and probably not going to make the playoffs. We'll see. So we'll make of the season what they will, but keep winning games. I mean, normally you'd feel like, you want to lose, so you get a better draft pick. But with the Rams being the Rams right now, and Stafford getting hurt again today, just keep cruising, Lions. And with that, let's head off into the NFL as this episode is getting far too long, so we've got to keep things rolling. Kudos to you. Got to give a shout out to you for getting all matchups but one in the early game window, early Thursday game window. You got the Titans. I'm not even going to go through all of them. You were
trying to bounce back to 500. Try to keep my mojo going.
You're doing just that, sir. So Thursday night, not a lot to say about this. We both had Titans, so points to us. We both got a win there. Packers stink. That's all I have to say about it.
Boo. That's all I have to say too. Don't care.
Yep.
You want to look at the NFC North, and I see the Lions in second. Not tied either. So, boo to you.
Yes. Yeah, the Vikings lose as well. We'll get to that game in just a minute. Bears, the other NFC North team, looking really bad. They had a nice lead in this game. Cordero Patterson does what he does, gets a nice kickoff return. Falcons come
103.
Yeah, huge one. And the Falcons come. That's part of their big comeback where they came back to win. Usually it's the other way around for Falcons. They usually are blowing leads. This time they take the lead back. The comeback Kings, they win it over the Falcons, or over the Bears. I'm sorry, the Falcons win it over the Bears.
Gonna have to mark this episode NSFW for how hard they blow.
Yeah, oof. It's like a geyser out there. Moving right along. Bills, the Detroit Bills versus the Cleveland Browns. The Bills playing at Ford Field. It's kind of like watching your ex with another guy.
How weird was watching this game for you?
It was weird. I think it would have been even more weird had we not have some instances of this in the past, like with the Vikings played here, the Bills played here once before. So a little less weird, but it's like you're happy for them. It's kind of cool, but it's also I feel so resentful, like especially because they play each other in 4 days.
I think that's the part that makes it weird. If it wasn't that, then it's like it's a whatever. However, I don't know if you did see what Detroit had going on in Ford Field. They had an indoor festival,
Carnival.
like a carnival. It looked so cool, and to have to tear that down was a bummer. But watching in Red Zone and looking down and seeing the Browns' orange helmets and white uniforms, and then you kind of see the dark blue Bills uniforms. And then all of a sudden you see the Honolulu blue splashes in the background. And every time I looked down, I kept thinking, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. No, exactly. It just didn't seem right. I think Lions had some scouts there as well. They were going to leave some coaches behind in Detroit to watch this game and get firsthand eyes on it.
Good on them.
So they can be ready for Thursday. But the Bills sneak it out. They were losing to the Browns here. Didn't look good off the bat, but they do what they do. They ultimately survive and advance. So Bills back into the win column, and they'll have their matchup next week against the Lions. Moving right along to another team that got sneaky, the Colts under Jeff Saturday nearly pull off the upset against the Eagles. Almost went with the Colts here in my picks, but I didn't. Eagles ultimately pull it out, but only by 1 point. And Colts had an opportunity late in the game to have a game-winning drive led by Matty Ice, but fell short. But wow, I was surprised though. Eagles just, I don't know.
Don't look now. Coach Cowher might have to eat his words.
Yeah, among others. It wasn't just him.
I mean, Cowher was very boisterous. I mean, like very upset about Saturday getting this job, and I don't know, man. You might have to apologize.
You got to imagine he's using that as fuel. I mean,
God forbid he gets the guys to play.
Yeah, I get it. It's a prestigious job, but I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, there's only 32 of them in the league or in the world, so it is a prestigious thing. But I don't know. I think the backlash was kind of outrageous. Moving right along, the Detroit Rams versus the New Orleans Saints. Yes, I know what I did there. Stafford gets hurt again. Went to the tent. The Rams, aka the Shams, is what I'm going to start calling them. The Rambles in shambles.
Wow,
they lose.
This guy's so
they lose
full of
to.
it.
They lose to the Saints, and your New Orleans Saints.
Andy Dalton was looking like a monster out there too. Did Stafford
the Red Rocket?
end up? Oh, ew! Did Stafford finish this game? Did he come back?
I don't know.
The
Rams sure didn't because they never made up the deficit.
I stopped watching this game when I saw another lineman go down for the Rams, and it looked like another bad injury to a backup lineman somewhere they were already hurting. And it's not getting any better for the Rams right now.
No. Stafford went out and Walford was their backup, and he was also injured. So it had to go to some guy named Bryce something. Bryce with a W last name. I don't even know the guy. He can't be expected to run this team. That's for sure. Stafford can't even do it. So
we talked about it.
Rams just continue to struggle. They're 3-7.
Yeah, this is the backlash from selling out to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
You accomplished your dreams. You can go to the owner and say, hey, this is exactly what we played for, and this was the ramifications. But you've gotten a Super Bowl. How upset of a fan base can you really be?
You can't be. I mean, the Rams house, whose house? Rams house. They can't even get fans to show up when they win a Super Bowl. So
I guess they don't even really have a good fan base to start.
No, there's a few diehards out there, but not many. Panthers versus Ravens. Oh, you know what? I skipped one. I did this last week too. I skipped one. So let's revert back to Jets Patriots. Felt like a Big Ten game. It was 3-3 for what seemed like the entire game. Jets only had 2 yards of offense in the second half. They had negative 21 yards passing. A low-scoring affair all game long. The Patriots win it on a walk-off punt return of all things. Not a single offensive touchdown in this game. Mind-boggling.
What a weird game, but once again, you really going against Bill Belichick, Ben?
Look, man, it looked like it was going 3-3 into overtime. They scored that punt return with like 20 seconds left. We could be sitting here right now talking about a Jets victory if they got the ball in overtime.
This is the game I texted you. Judon Smith is running all by himself on the sweep around the left-hand side. There's nobody in camera view of him. And the ball just comes out of his hands like it was covered in butter. I didn't understand how that ball came out. I mean, there was nobody near him, so that he was able to just fall on this ball, no problems, no questions asked. He was recovering that.
No, I shouldn't eat that popcorn.
You want to win? Put Brucey in.
Did you see the kick return, the punt return?
I did not. I was.
Okay.
I think the Lions had just finished up, and it became puzzle mode for us here.
I love that. Did you finish the puzzle?
It's a 500 piecer. We just got the frame filled out. We're gonna come back and really put our backs into it tomorrow.
Hit her again right before Thanksgiving. Love that.
Yes,
no, but on the punt return, I didn't see it. I saw the replay on Red Zone, and there was a very obvious to me. There was a block in the back right at the end of it. A situation where they didn't need it. Like if he doesn't block him in the back right at the end there, he still walks in for the touchdown or the kick return. But NFL came out and said it was from the side, and just go and look it up if you haven't seen it, folks, and give us your judgment on that, because it looks like a very obvious block in the back. Would have totally changed this game. Patriots probably would have kicked a field goal still to win it, but could have changed the outcome because the block in the back happened on like the 5-yard line. But I thought that was very controversial. But Patriots win it over the Jets. No, much to my chagrin. And chagrin is a good word. Panthers versus Ravens, another Big Ten scoring game. It was low scoring for most of the game, but Ravens do pull it out. They get the narrow victory and win it 13-3, and they improved to 7-3. So not much to say about that game other than just to
there is one thing I gotta ask the shareholders from this game. Now, shareholders, you see what Brad Holmes is doing. He's absolutely dumping cash, freeing up cash flow situation in Detroit. We've got a lot of room here. Who would like to see Lamar Jackson as the quarterback of your Detroit Lions?
I just want to hear from we leave this for the offseason. I
want to hear from the shareholders, Dan.
Tommy, cut it.
Bleep it out.
Yeah, I'm up for that discussion, but let's wait. Let's see what happens. Let's cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's not go off in the fan.
I'm gonna text you privately every week telling you I want him, how badly I want him. It's gonna be like whispering sweet nothings into his ear, but I'm doing it to you.
What I'll say is LJ, Lamar Jackson, and Ben Johnson, BJ and LJ, pretty good combo, I think.
Can you imagine if we get a Zylstra in there, a little ZJ?
Oh man, Zylstra! Wow, that's a name. That's a name right there. I didn't hear much from them this week. Commanders. This one hurts for both of us. This was the sole loss that you had. The sole loss for you today. Texans couldn't get it done. You talked me into taking the Texans here. I regretted it from day one. Commanders just commanding W over the Texans. Commanders trying to build something in the NFC beast that is just getting closer and closer with Philly's loss and last week and the Giants losing this week. So that division continues to compress.
These guys are putting it together. I'm glad we beat them early.
Yeah, right. It's looking back, it's kind of crazy to think about. Luckily, they had Carson Wentz in.
Yeah, exactly. Heineke put a spark into this team, and he's all or nothing. I mean, he's either gonna. I watched a highlight from him today. Andrew Siciliano threw it up on Red Zone, and Siciliano sets it up like it's a big play. Heineke avoids a sack from the pressure, lets one fly downfield only to overthrow the defender and the receiver by 10 yards.
Yeah.
What, I mean, that's Heineke in a nutshell. It looks like it's going to be golden, and it's either dead on or couldn't be closer.
Yeah, you don't know. He's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get from him. You're right. Time and time again, unpredictable. Heineke, and we'll see what post game things he's got going on. Last week he had the shenanigans going. Raiders versus Broncos overtime thriller. Devontae Adams with a walk-off touchdown to win it in overtime from Derek Carr. Another
it's too
loss
easy
for
on
me.
paper.
Another loss for me here, and another W for you here, as you had the Raiders, your B team.
Derek Carr to Devontae Adams, too easy on paper. That's what I said last week, and they finally showed up and put an actual game together. They started off slow though, but they don't do much for the short yardage, those two together, but the home run balls for both of them are just, they're hitting at a high percentage right now.
Yeah, and when they do have that connection going, watch out. But Broncos get Raiders get a much needed victory. They get their third win of the year.
Does this will this lead to Nathaniel Hackett's firing?
Probably. I don't see this going well. This marriage ending well whatsoever.
Do you think he finishes the season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At this point, yeah, I think. What does an interim do for you at this point? Nothing good at this point. Just limp it to the offseason. The defense is the number one ranked red zone defense. So take that as you will. Cowboys over the Vikings in commanding fashion. Cowboys with an angry win. Vikings with a brutal hangover. I don't know why I didn't trust myself. I don't know why I didn't trust myself here. Why did I wanted to go Cowboys, but I didn't. I'm dumb. I got sucked into the Team of Destiny bullshit. And what did we get? We got an absolute hangover after their big win last week over the Bills. They get crushed by the Cowboys. Final score was calculating 40 to 3. Yeah, no touchdowns on the day for the Vikings. Just a brutal day. And of course, I picked the Vikings. But yeah, it was so bad that they pulled Kirk Cousins. Just called the dogs off.
Yeah, for all you fantasy owners out there, I think Kirk Cousins finished with around -4 points.
Nice. Just a solid day from him. Last game of the day in games that have completed. Bengals versus Steelers, always a good one. AFC North, no love loss ever. TJ Watt, absolute beast in this game. Tried to will the Steelers to victory, but they fall late to the Bengals, 37-30 in a high-scoring affair. Pretty high scoring for AFC North. Usually AFC North games are kind of low scoring. Joe Burrow with 4 touchdowns on the day. Bengals, like we said, they really needed this victory. They improved to 6-4, 5-4 coming into it. You couldn't fall to 500. You needed to win this one if you want to make something of this season. Because both the Super Bowl teams from last year, the Bengals and the Rams, having down years. Rams more so than the Bengals, but Bengals still trying to make something.
This is the game we told the shareholders that if you're going to watch any game outside the Lions, watch this one. It was a fun game. It's always a fun game. They're always pretty chippy, and you saw it get chippy right there at the end. George Pickens, I don't know if he just missed the ball or if he tipped it at all, but Kenny Pickett got picked right at the end on a pass to Pickens, and he got involved in a little sideline scuffle with the Bengals, had a lot of white jerseys. Not too many black and yellow jerseys over there at his side, and could have got a little crazy. Pickens ends up getting disqualified, so fireworks as always.
Fireworks as always. Fireworks in the department of your record this week. You are sitting at 11-1, sir.
Who was riding with me, boys? Who's the shareholders with me?
I hope a lot of them, because if they haven't jumped already, they're going to jump right now. I'm sitting at a lowly 6-6. Just a bad week for me. I had the Giants, but that was a reverse psychology. For those who remember, I said I've been picking against the Lions and it's gone in our favor, so I continue to pick against them. But outside of that, I also had Bears over Falcons, yikes, and Giants. Like I said, both of us had the Texans. I had the Broncos. I had the Vikings. So we've got 2 games remaining. We've got the Chiefs and Chargers going on currently on Sunday Night Football. It's 10-6. Chargers lead it over the Chiefs. And Monday night, we've got the matchup of the 49ers and the Cardinals in Mexico. And so we've got 2 games remaining. We'll see if Andrew can do it. See if he can get to 13-1. If my calculations are correct, you're 11-1 right now. And
you need the Chiefs.
Your one loss would be the Texans. So that one hurts.
I need the Chiefs. Who did I have in the Monday night matchup?
You have the Cardinals.
All right, here we go. Chiefs Cards.
If memory serves. I may have gotten that wrong, but I couldn't remember. I know I'm 49ers. I think you went against me there and went Cardinals. But moving right along as we close out this long show on a victory Sunday, Monday for the Lions. College football. Let's talk about that real quick. All top 5 teams were tested this week in an unlikely week. We talked about it. There weren't many ranked matchups this week, only 2. But a survive and advance week, if I may quote Kirk Herbstreit, top 4 all get the W, but Tennessee falls in a ugly one against South Carolina. They also lose their quarterback to an ACL injury, so their season's all but over. 3 notable ranked teams losing. Tennessee at 5 lost. Also UNC at 13. And Andrew's got a little show and tell going on of the Instagram Live. I'm not sure the name of that song, but it seems to be the anthem that the Lions have bestowed on themselves. Adding to that, Ole Miss with a loss as well, number 14. Do you want to go back to the Lions? Are you?
I'm just happy that we're both wearing gear.
Oh yeah, absolutely, right, brother. Absolutely. I haven't taken this off all day. It's cold here in Texas. I can wear the long sleeves again because it's cold here now.
Okay, chill out, city boy.
It's 47 degrees right now. and declining. It's going to be low of 41 tonight. Anyway, those are your 3 ranked teams that lost this week. Michigan versus Illinois. Blake Corum hurts his knee on the fumble. That one hurts. Going to need him against Ohio State. I saw him delivering some turkeys in Ypsilanti today. Not walking with much of a limp, a little bit of a swagger walk. So I think maybe things are okay. But the Wolverines in a scary one, almost drop it to Illinois, but survive and advance. TCU Baylor was a crazy one. A close one all game long. Baylor looked like they were going to pull off the upset. They all but did it. TCU gets the ball, 3rd and 7, no timeouts. They run a run play with no timeouts, and they have to platoon swap the field goal team onto the field with 14 seconds. They kick the field goal with about 4 or 5 seconds on the clock, make the field goal after being rushed on in under 10 seconds. Just a remarkable job by the field goal team there to save their season. They remain unbeaten, saving themselves from what would have crushed their season. Michigan State loses in overtime. And now listen to this,
Drop
Andrew.
Another.
Listen to this. They lose to an Indiana team who completed 2 passes on the day. 2.
I need to know their rushing yardage after that stat.
I don't have it handy, but they put up 39 points on only 2 completions.
That's got to be a record, right?
Well, granted, the 39 points, they got some points in overtime, so 30 points in regulation or whatever it was. I think it's 30-30, or 31-30 or 31-31 going into overtime. But man, when I heard that stat, didn't see much of the game, so I can't reference what was going on. I was watching the Michigan game, but wow, I was surprised when I saw that stat.
That's quite the stat to behold.
So update on the rankings will come out on Tuesday, but the Ben 10, as I've been calling it, I've got Georgia 1, I'll give the nod to Ohio State here. I'll give them 2, Michigan 3, TCU 4, USC 5, LSU 6, Alabama 7, Penn State 8. That's probably too much of a jump. Clemson 9 and Oregon 10 after their win over Utah. And then Tennessee at 11. So the big matchup coming up this week is obviously Ohio State, Michigan, number 2 versus number 3. Almost feels like a situation, or it's probably a situation where whoever loses is still in the college football playoff just because of the stature of this game. And it's just the format of college football is imperfect, and that you've got some teams outside of the top 4 who have lost, but they lost early, so now they've climbed back up. 2 versus 3. I mean, it's similar to when Georgia and Tennessee faced off. Tennessee dropped only to 6 or 5 or whatever it was. So it's a similar situation, I think, here for Michigan and Ohio State.
It's a real shame.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I mean, it's just a shame that they played each other late, year after year. Play each other earlier. So I mean, I know it's annoying to play earlier, but the loss will hurt you less for both teams, and then they'd both have a chance to make the playoffs. Sure. The loser of this game, I don't believe, will make the college football playoff.
Wow, you're saying that, huh?
I'm going to stick with my guns. I don't think they let both of them in. I think that's the selection committee. You know the selection committee as much as I do.
Well, it's a bigger field this year.
I just don't think it's going to happen.
LSU's in the top 6 right now with 2 losses.
This is why you're our college football guy. Forget that it got expanded to 6.
Oh, it might be expanded to 8 or whatever it is.
Jeez,
now.
Oh, Pete, the years have passed me by on this.
I don't know. I just know it's bigger, and bigger isn't always better. Remember that. What a big win for the Detroit Lions, though. Let's show off the pride once again. We're happy, and it's good to go into a Monday feeling like your team's not a piece of shit. I don't want to say they're a good team yet. We're not. Remember what I said at the top. We can't have our highs too high and we can't have our lows too low. Gotta stay closer in the median. Yeah, the roar's getting. It's going to be
heavy on Thursday, like you said too.
Oh, that den's going to be loud. Always a good tradition. Lions on Thanksgiving, regardless of what the people outside of Michigan think of the Lions being on Thanksgiving year after year. We adore it.
It's not in the plans for you, but are you gonna possibly think about wandering, catching a late ticket?
No, I can't let the mind get there.
I swear to God, I'll do it with you.
Put the mic down. Let's chat off air. I won't be there as it stands right now. I'm not planning to go. However, who would have thought the Lions would be coming into this game 3 wins in a row, and the Bills, one of the top teams in the league with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and all of those players alike. So we'll talk about that. I think we're going to do an episode on Tuesday this week because of the game on Thursday. Going to bump up our midweek show and break down what's going to come up this week in a holiday special. So until then, we'll see you all on Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, whatever day I feel like posting this next episode. Until then, go 3-1. No, 3-1. What am I saying? 3-0. 3 in a row. White hot Detroit Lions. All white uniforms today. Looking hot. Fierce. Go Lions.
Drive to 4 or 5, baby. Still alive.
Out.